Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of Darkness, frontman of Black Sabbath, a man who redefined heavy metal, survived addiction, and became a global rock icon. But behind the wild stage antics and humor, Ozzy has never been afraid to speak his mind, even when it meant insulting fellow musicians. Today we're diving deep into the 6 musicians Ozzy Osbourne just couldn't stand. Some rivalries turned bitter, some were born out of frustration, and others, well, they just left him shaking his head. Ronnie James Dio. When Ozzy left Black Sabbath in 1979, he was replaced by Ronnie James Dio, a powerhouse vocalist who brought a new sound and new life to the band. But instead of respecting Dio's talent, Ozzy often mocked him, dismissing him as a gnome with an inflated ego. Ozzy once sneered, "He could never replace the authenticity of what I did with Sabbath." To many fans, Dio elevated Sabbath, with albums like Heaven and Hell and Mob Rules. But for Ozzy, Dio was always an outsider, someone living in the shadow of his own legacy. Tony Iommi. This rivalry cuts even deeper. Tony Iommi, the legendary guitarist who founded Black Sabbath, was both Ozzy's creative partner and his greatest source of frustration. Ozzy admired Iommi's genius riffs, but grew bitter over Iommi's control of the band. He complained that Sabbath became Tony's vehicle, with Ozzy feeling like just a hired gun. The tension boiled over many times, lawsuits, public insults, and decades of bad blood. And yet, despite the feuds, Ozzy always admitted, without Tony Iommi, there would be no Black Sabbath. Bob Daisley. Behind the scenes, Bob Daisley was the unsung hero of Ozzy's early solo career. He co-wrote classics like Crazy Train and Mr. Crowley, but instead of gratitude, their partnership ended in lawsuits and betrayal. Bob accused Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne of withholding royalties. Ozzy, in turn, painted Daisley as greedy and opportunistic. Their feud dragged through courts for years, overshadowing some of the greatest metal songs ever written. Bill Ward, Black Sabbath's original drummer, Bill Ward, was once like a brother to Ozzy, but when reunion talks began in the 2000s, Ward was left out, with Ozzy publicly suggesting Bill was too unfit to play. Ward was deeply hurt, insisting he dedicated his life to Sabbath. Ozzy's blunt comments calling him physically incapable drove a permanent wedge between the two old bandmates. It wasn't just about business, it was about betrayal. Kanye West. Of all the unexpected feuds, this one shocked everyone. In 2020, Kanye West sampled Sabbath's Iron Man without permission during a live performance. Ozzy immediately blasted Kanye online, saying, "I want nothing to do with this man. He's an anti-Semite. He crossed the line." The Prince of Darkness wasn't laughing. He wanted to make it crystal clear. His music, his legacy, would never be tied to Kanye West. Justin Bieber. Unlike the others, Ozzy didn't exactly hate Justin Bieber, but he sure didn't take him seriously. When asked about Bieber, Ozzy once replied simply, "Who the fug is Justin Bieber?" That line became a viral meme, perfectly capturing the generational gap between a 1970s heavy metal pioneer and a polished teen pop idol.
Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon.